Reduce it later, I hope. Valerie Vaz.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's my favourite number. It's a pleasure to follow the honourable the gentleman from North West Norfolk. And Madam Deputy Speaker, it's a fact that when we speak in the budget debate, the bread and butter of our work, it may not get the hearing we want. We have to live with the sad fact that the song Murder on the Dance Floor will be streamed more than our speeches. Maybe it's just my speeches, but I want to refer the honourable members to a line in the song, which is, "Better not steal the moves." But it seems the Chancellor did, because he abolished the non-dom status, which was trailed sometime by the opposition benches. I suppose imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I say to the residents in Walsall, yes, we can work within the fiscal envelope, but our choices will be different. What did the Chancellor actually do to solve the problems of the country? Nothing. He said nothing that hedge fund managers have made £53 billion in profit for investors. Why isn't that harnessed for society? And the water companies pour effluent into our rivers. They broke the law and awarded themselves £10 million in bonuses and £14 million in incentives, but at the same time want to charge us £156 extra to plug a financial gap. And what would we do? Madam Deputy Speaker, we would end self-monitoring and force companies to monitor every single outlet so that they cannot cover up legal sewage dumping. Now, the Chancellor has mentioned a new tax, a tax on vaping, and we've seen those shops proliferate on the high street, and freezing alcohol duty, which helps the pubs, but he said nothing about the high street. Those people who worked during the pandemic and beyond still face abuse at work. Nothing for them. They're on low pay or insecure work, instead of giving them the real living wage based on the cost of living. Nothing for the high street, Madam Deputy Speaker, so retailers can compete with online businesses. And what about local government? Schools are struggling with dilapidated toxic buildings or lack of staff, paid less than an online company, so they go and they leave schools and work there. Special education needs pupils are being failed. Councils still have to bid for money. Walsall Council can't even respond to fly tipping, managing trees, or invest in a rat catcher, which is a public health issue and affects people's lives. People need to know the connection, Madam Deputy Speaker. The government cuts the grants to local authorities and the council is forced to raise the tax just to stand still. So there may be a cut in national insurance, but actually people are going to have to pay for it with increased council tax. As a lawyer, Madam Deputy Speaker, and a member of the Law Society, the legal system is shaky. It is the quiet and calm place where disputes are settled, and it's there to keep communities safe and is worth £60 billion. There is a dearth of duty solicitors. Legal firms are small and medium enterprises, and they are struggling to attract staff. I'd ask the appropriate minister to work with the Law Society and support firms to increase civil legal aid so they can give people advice and prevent them from becoming homeless with the right advice and the possibility of legal apprentices to make their way in careers in the law. And what about the NHS, Madam Deputy Speaker? The government is only funding additional roles. NHS facts and stats say that England does not have a shortage of GPs, but a practice funding shortage, with a 20% reduction in pounds per patient since 2016. And what would we do? The Shadow Health Secretary has said we would deal with waste. £1.7 billion is the cost of hospital beds because patients can't be discharged. £3.5 billion paid to recruitment agencies because the government have failed to train enough staff. £626 million spent by DHSC on management consultants, Madam Deputy Speaker. £1 billion could be saved through bulk buying equipment. That's what we would do. And we haven't even started on the PPE fiasco. We would work in partnership with businesses in the private sector, just as we've announced yesterday for the National Wealth Fund. So every pound that the public sector spends, a pound is raised in the private sector from the Green Finance Initiative. Madam Deputy Speaker, our constituents are numb from the international situation to just getting by with the cost of living. We say to them, we believe in you. We'll give you the skills, your rights at work, we will do what is needed for public services and support you with a safety net as needed. We believe in you and support you to live safe, happy, productive and secure lives. Thank you.
Maggie Through.